everybody. It's Allie, and welcome to our Y&R Chat for Sunday, September 25th, 2022. The mystery person standing in Diane's hotel room next week can be none other than Chemo! Am I right? It's definitely Chemo, right? Chemo's back! He has tracked Diane down and he wants an update on their plan to take down his father, Jack Abbott. Right? Right? The return of Chemo! I mean, who else could it be? Oh yeah, I guess it could be Trevor St. John. Any chance he could be playing the part of Chemo now? You know I'm never gonna give up hope. I'm never gonna let it go. Till the day I die. Till the day I slouch over in my chair in my living room, I will be mumbling the name Chemo. From my death chair and my cold lips, I will be saying Chemo. Oh, well, shoot. It does look like maybe Diane's past may be coming back to haunt her. I mean, she didn't have a very happy face on when she got that text message saying, I'm on my way to Genoa City. And she didn't look very warm and friendly when she saw that someone had broken into her hotel room either. I kind of wonder if it's possible that whoever's standing there is maybe someone who is coming to collect on a favor that could kind of ruin the good girl image that she's trying to project. I wonder if we're going to see Diane next week just putting on her greatest hits record with whoever this person is and just singing, go away, I've changed, I'm not that person anymore. Or I wonder if Diane could actually be up to something. Maybe this will signal a turn for her character. I don't know. What's going on with you, Diane? Could Phyllis actually be right when she said, there it is, there you are, I see you, there's the Diane that I know and hate. All of these weeks of build-up on the Phyllis-Diane feud for that beautiful moment, that vicious little moment right in the Chabot hallway where Phyllis pushed Diane just a little too far and she lost control. Because don't you think that, it's possible deep down we're still dealing with a Diane that's just as nasty as Phyllis or more. Maybe she's just gotten better at controlling it over the years, and maybe we're going to see her little by little lose it. Because at the party on Friday, definitely Diane had some snide, juicy little comments about Phyllis that were really fun to hear. But I'm wondering if maybe Diane is actually on the verge of losing more control, and maybe we'll start to see her biting back at Phyllis in a bigger, badder way. Because really, how far can you push anyone before they're gonna lose their cool eventually? And I think that was exactly Phyllis's plan. Push Diane until she breaks and then let the world see her. And I think Victor certainly added some fuel to Diane's blow up this week too. Diane sat down with Victor and she was trying to maybe make friends with him, at least become more cordial with him. She was trying to repair it a little bit, and Victor was mostly dismissive, but he was also very insulting. And Diane actually said, I didn't come back from the dead to be abused. I thought that was a great line. It's hilarious. I didn't come back from the dead to be abused. Well, yeah. Yeah. But I think that abused is a very interesting word choice. Diane feels abused by the townspeople. Only Jack and Kyle and Summer to a lesser extent have really given her a shred of a chance, and now because of Phyllis, she blew it. Kyle and Summer had been fretting that they made the wrong decision in letting Diane and Phyllis work together under the same roof. Well, yeah. And now they're annoyed that they have to spend extra time trying to figure out who is lying and who is telling the truth. So Jack actually suggested to Kyle, well, here's an easy answer. Why don't you just let them both know that if either one of them messes up, then they're both gone. No passing go, no collecting $200, just both of them gone. So Summer and Kyle call this dinner meeting with the mothers and give them the dramatic warning, to which both Phyllis and Diane agreed to. They both smiled through gritted teeth, and they both agreed that they wouldn't do anything to cause trouble. And then the very next day, they had the big blow up in the Chabot hallway. Well, Jack walks in and breaks it up, and then he later followed Diane to the park to kind of help soothe her tears and to let her know that he wasn't going to get into the middle of this, meaning he won't tell if she won't. I thought that was interesting. Jack was kind of subtly willing to cover for Diane. But no. Diane has learned that honesty is the best policy, and so she rats herself out, much to Phyllis's glee, until Phyllis realizes that that means that she's gone too. That's crazy. Diane raises her voice one time and gets fired and takes Phyllis down in a blaze of glory with her. I think that's amazing. Diane raises her voice one time for every 50 times that Phyllis does the exact same thing, and now Diane has to put her tail between her legs. Phyllis has a mini meltdown every other day. Diane's blow-up paled in comparison to Phyllis's blow-ups, but it was good to see. Not gonna lie, it was good to see. Jack, the big old softy, tells Kyle and Summer that, hey, why don't you just let the kids stew in it for a while, but then give them a second final chance. Well, gee, Jack, that's the exact opposite of what you said yesterday. But he's got a soft spot for Diane. And he knows that he can't, you can't play favorites, Phyllis and Diane. Everything has to be equal with them. I think Summer and Kyle heard that, absorbed it. They were feeling guilty anyway. So they turned around and hired them both back. Phyllis and Diane got a final warning, then fired, then rehired, all within like a 24-hour period. Chabot, Marchetti, it's a crazy place to work. Where do I submit my resume? Welcome to the Glam Club. I don't like the name. But I like the space. I don't know about the Andy Warhol style pop art face print in the background, but I love that gold beaded curtain right when you first walk in the door, and oh my gosh, that wraparound couch with the luxurious plush red upholstery and those funky dragon pillows tossed on it. Oh, and there's also this pair of two like red and gold and green vertically striped chairs. Right when you walk in through the front door. I want those chairs right now to be mine. I don't know where I will put them, but hand them over, Y&R. So cool. Wow. the Glam Club, I noticed that there was lots of little nooks, lots of little places to sit and chat and film. So on the week where we get a fresh new Hangout set, let me ask you guys this. What is the best Hangout spot currently in Genoa City? That's going to be our poll question for this week at yrchat.com. What's the current best Hangout spot? We actually have two places now at the Grand Phoenix. We have the Glam Club and also the Grand Phoenix lobby, which I kind of think is maybe being retired. I'm sort of guessing that maybe we're not going to see that lobby area anymore, but I could be wrong, and we've seen a lot of it within the last year, so maybe Y&R will still use it. We also have Society, of course, for if you're going to have dinner or lunch, or we have the dive bar if you're going to stop, maybe for an after-work drink, or in the morning, you can buzz by Crimson Lights for a coffee. Or you could also go to Chancellor Park for a picnic and a stroll and to watch Harrison playing some sport. What do you think is the best place to be in Genoa City? Just to hang out. yrchat.com. Oh, I love the sets. I'm just really into the sets. 3 cheers for getting a new set. That makes me happy. I mean, we got a lot of bedrooms, new bedrooms lately. We got the lounge areas, and I'm for it. Like, the Bold and the Beautiful gets to go on those location shoots, and they go off to exotic lands, and they get all that. But I'll take a fresh set any day of the week. Like, I'm playing the long game here. I'd rather have a new set to look at for 6 months than, just a 1 week in Italy or whatever. Oh, but to christen our new space, Noah and Allie and Mariah and Tessa worked hand in hand this week with Mother Tracy to lure Kyle and Summer to a pre-wedding party. With all the trimmings and all the dramins. Allie had the great idea to try to stagger the moms' arrival at the party so that Diane and Phyllis weren't there at the same time to ruin the party with their bickering. So they were gonna try to bring Diane early and then shuffle her out the door before bringing Phyllis in as the closer. But Phyllis botched it up unknowingly. She followed Summer to the club, which is psychotic, by the way, that she had to follow her. But good drama ends. Because Phyllis walks into the party and then she thinks that she's the only one that's not invited to it. She's looking at Diane and Jack and her kids and everybody there having fun, and she thinks that she wasn't invited. And gosh, we had to watch her just try to hold in a nuclear meltdown. I mean, you could really see she was writhing in pain, and I did feel bad for Phyllis, by the way. I don't want Phyllis to feel sad and excluded any more than I want Diane to feel sad and excluded. But I do think that Phyllis has contributed more to creating the air around the situation. I mean, Diane may have been throwing cherry bombs, but Phyllis was launching warheads. There's just no other way around it. I still felt for her, though. Luckily, Nick, king of the dance floor, which we didn't get to see him busting any moves. Well, I guess we did a little bit, but I didn't get any focus on Nick's dance moves. He was able to temper things with Phyllis, which, by the way, gave me some hope that maybe they will reunite someday. That's my ultimate hope. And then everybody went on to make nice and to party, and it was fun. I love seeing everybody with a beautiful drink in their hand and dancing and laughing and having a blast. I could do without the speeches. I'm sure that Jack he's saving his for the wedding. He's writing it in his head right now, and he's saving his speech for the wedding. Tracy actually talked Kyle out of the surprise element of the re-wedding with Summer. Tracy said, why don't you just tell Summer about it all so that she can be involved in the planning, and then we just ended up having a surprise party instead of a surprise wedding. So Kyle gets down on one knee and asks Summer to marry him again. I was honestly very surprised by how much I loved that scene. I mean, we never saw Kyle and Summer in their Milan wedding, but more importantly, we're dealing with a new Summer here, which means we're dealing with a new couple dynamic. And I think that seeing them together in love really gives us a chance to dig into the new chemistry, which I think is totally there. I like Kyle and Summer. I'm looking forward to seeing some autumn romance leading up to a big dramatic wedding. So Kyle brought Summer in on the re-wedding idea, and she said, sure, this sounds great. I can't wait to pick my dress. Wait, what? You mean my grandma's gonna design it? Oh, cool. Hey, Nikki, by the way, you look good. That is such a Deacon Sharp thing to say. He is always trying to get a little bit ahead. Oh, it was good. And I think you look good, Deacon. He's slimmed up a lot. I mean, he must be in shape from his Cobra Kai training, because he was definitely putting those biceps on display. He was like leaning up against the door, showing the bicep. He looks good. And he's right. Nikki looks good today too. I mean, it's like, okay, looking at all of these flashbacks from Nikki 15 years ago, she looks better today than she did in the flashbacks, which it has to be 15 years at this point, I would say. Well, I mean, Melody Thomas Scott did admit in her book that she did have a little nip and tuck. She said, everybody does it. That was one of the things that stuck with me, because she said, well, it's just kind of one of those things. Everybody just does it around here. And don't tell anybody I said this, but I was kind of thinking that Victoria looked a little extra fresh when she got back from her shopping spree last week. So I wonder, Secrets of the Stars. Oh. Okay, well, Nikki called Deacon to her hotel room in LA, and she questioned him about Diane like a real bossy little girl. She was definitely giving me bossy baby doll vibes. And she said to him, oh, there will be no forgiveness. You just tell me what I want to know about Diane or else. I was like, okay, baby doll. I mean, like, this is sort of the theme of Nikki's life right now. There will be no forgiveness. Just give me what I want or go away. It's the truth. All Deacon could really give her, though, was the little bit of information that whenever he saw Taylor Jensen in Los Angeles during the time that Diane Jenkins was supposed to be dead, he saw her driving a Bentley with some dude in the back seat, which gave him the impression that Diane had come into some money. Yeah, well, I guess it could be that. Or maybe Diane was a chauffeur. Did anybody think of that? Maybe Diane was just driving Mr. Daisy. Are you sleeping with my brother? I'm kind of disappointed that Sally dodged around Adam's question. I thought this was going to be like a major plot point for all week, and we barely saw any of it. I mean, that cliffhanger had me. Are you sleeping with my brother? I mean, I think, I don't know. I guess Sally could have owned it. I mean, Sally could have, honestly, she could have creamed it in Adam's face that she just slept with Nick. And I think the fact that she didn't cream it in his face, means that she does still love him. I mean, she said it. I think it means that she doesn't want to hurt Adam. I don't think that Sally slept with Nick to hurt Adam. So she tried to dance around it, and instead of owning up to it, she tells Adam that it's all none of his business. Just go away now. But he tells her that it does matter. She matters to him, and he's still hoping that they're going to get back together, but she says no. She sends him on his way, which, by the way, is the exact same thing that she did to Nick. As soon as Adam showed up, she sort of sent Nick away. It definitely was not Nick and Sally together versus Adam. Nick and Sally weren't presenting as a couple in any way. Sally just kind of politely told Nick to split, which I thought made Nick look a little bad, but he left, and then he later ran into Adam, and Nick was acting very protective of Sally, but he didn't really say anything to give any of it away. It's kind of the same way with Chloe, too. Nick was singing Sally's praises, saying that, oh, she's so great, right? And she really learned her lesson, and she's definitely going to be better from here on out. But I think that maybe Chloe kind of got the idea too, or at least it piqued a little bit of a huh in her mind. They cannot possibly think that they're hiding anything. I mean, I think Chloe is like, wait a minute, suddenly Nick is Sally's #1 fan? How did that happen? I do kind of look forward to what Chloe's reaction will be once she finds out that Nick and Sally are sleeping together, which she will, because it's a soap opera. We're going to want that dramatic moment. And I'm almost kind of wondering if Chloe will be happy that Sally's sleeping with Nick because she's sleeping with anybody but Adam. I'm still over here kind of rooting for Billy and Chelsea to hook up. You want to know why? Because he's not married. And also because I think there's some chemistry there. And also because I think that the storyline is potentially there. This week, Victoria agreed to Chelsea's request to tell Johnny the truth about, his biological mother, that Chelsea is his biological mother, which, by the way, sent Chelsea straight into Billy's arms for a big old hug, thanking him for his support at her request. That had to be a really hard decision for Victoria, and I gotta stop and say, I really appreciated how mature Victoria was in listening to the argument for it and to ultimately accepting that it's time to have that conversation with her son. As a mother, I just can't imagine how hard that would be to raise a child from birth and to be the only mother that the child ever knew, but then to have to turn around and tell them that you're not the only mother. I mean, Victoria and Billy said that they've had that conversation with Johnny before. It's not news to him that Victoria is not his biological mother. They just haven't revealed the mother's identity. But still, for Victoria and for Billy too, I think deep down it probably feels like you're giving something away, something precious, someone precious. And I could see how that would be really hard, and I could see how a parent would want to coil up and avoid it and not deal with it because it's painful. And because it's change. Johnny may decide that he wants to have Chelsea in his life, and that could mean that Johnny's now sleeping over at Chelsea's place, and that's a whole, another host of questions, and maybe now Johnny wants Chelsea to be included in the Thanksgiving and Christmas gatherings. I mean, it's a lot of change. It's a lot of information for a kid too. But I don't know, maybe it's all going to be for naught, because next week in the previews, Billy and Victoria seem to be mad at Chelsea, seem to be feeling that Chelsea has lied to them somehow. I really don't know what that would be about. I mean, would Chelsea dare tell Johnny herself? Or would she dare tell Connor, and then maybe Connor lets it slip to Johnny even after Victoria was very explicit about how this was going to go? Would Chelsea dare already step out of line by making it possible for Johnny to find this information out in a way that was not carefully constructed to help him? I completely underestimated Nate's ruthlessness because last week when he approached Victoria, I thought that he was bargaining for a job running one of her newly acquired companies, but no, he's willing to give her insider information about the Chancellor Winters IPO and sell her his personal shares to give her controlling interest of the company so that she will put him in charge of it. So that he will be Devon and Lily's boss. Damn, that's good. That is so good. It's so bad, but it is so good. I am impressed. Oh. But I do still stick by my question from last week. What exactly makes Nate think that Victoria won't double cross him? Because she could turn around and stab him in the back at any moment, and she probably will. So Nate makes the deal with Victoria, and then he goes back to Chancellor Winters with his tail between his legs, whimpering about how wrong he was. He has seen the light now. He was definitely out of line, and now he just wants to come back to work at the company, and now he realizes that Devon is the boss. All the while, Nate's thinking, yeah, not for long. Ooh, and he peppered in lots of little things to make it believable too. Like, yeah, you know, I totally accept your authority, Devon, but I just want you to listen to my ideas. And if Lily and Billy think that there's some merit to it, then I think you should listen to them and give it a chance. But you, Devon, you're the boss. You make the final decision. I mean, he had to make it believable, and it really, really was. Oh my goodness. Literally, they are letting the Trojan horse into the door right this very minute. Oh, with the IP going public and having Nate back in the fold. Lily's so thrilled about it all. I mean, she was practically ready to break out into a round of, for Nate's a jolly good fellow. What a great guy. He came around. He came back. Wow. All the while, she has no idea that all of her good intentions and good work that she's doing is about to be betrayed by someone she thought she could trust. Ugh. I really liked Billy's role in that meeting too, by the way. I think Billy knows that this is what Lily wants. He knows what Lily wants. She wants the IPO, and she wants her family to be in it together and working in harmony. So Billy was right there trying to smooth things out with his Billy charm, and I appreciated that of him. But he's going to be in for a rude awakening too. Victoria ran Nate's Chancellor Winters takeover idea by Nick, but ultimately she doesn't want his opinion. She doesn't want any conflicting opinions, even though Nick did make some good points about what Victoria's real motives might be here, and might Billy be on her mind in any of this? Might having Billy work for her feed into her motivation here? But she didn't want to hear it. And so since Nick didn't give her the positive reinforcement that she was looking for, she went to Victor instead. I'm about to do something sneaky. I know who will back me up here. Dad! Oh, and yeah, Victor did warn her that what she's planning has a name, and it's called insider trading, and it's illegal. Both she and Nate could get in a whole lot of trouble over this, and I'm sure that Newman, power, and money can get Victoria out of a tight spot if it comes up, but Nate is not going to be so lucky. At the end of the day, Nate bargained everything away for a job. It's still a job, and if Victoria owns the company, it's a job that could be taken away from him at any point. Because, according to Victoria, people are replaceable. Elena knows this. Elena sees this, and she's tried talking to Nate. She's tried getting him to see what a dangerous idea this is, but he is not listening. He is going to destroy his relationship with her over this. In fact, next week she's telling him she thinks they should take a break. And I guess that's where Imani comes in to pick up the pieces, to cradle his ego when maybe she should be with her mother and father who are in terrible ailing health. So, hold on a sec. Naya is in a coma, and now her husband has collapsed. What is going on with the Benedict family? Are these people not taking their vitamins or something? That's right, people are replaceable, and Victoria was the one who said it, and nearly everyone guessed it right. So congratulations, Daisy, Calvin, Henry, Victoria, Sheila, Tanya, Brittany, Kenzie, Sue W, Southside Granny, Sharita, and Ron. You guys all heard it come out of Victoria's mouth, or maybe you just realized that that's the kind of thing that only Victoria would say. Congratulations. How about this quote for the week? Who said it? I need spoilers. YRChat.com is where you can guess or know, if you know, who said, I need spoilers. And if you get it right, I will give you your shout out during next week's Y&R Chat. And now it's time for your comments, starting with Ellen, who asks the burning question that is on everyone's mind. Nate the backstabber. Will Allie still find him attractive? That's the question. Oh, God, yes. Let me put this question to rest. Oh, God, yes. I mean, I know I don't mention it every week as much as I used to, but it's because I'm consciously trying to pull it back. I know you guys don't just want to hear me talk on and on every week about how ungodly hot Nate is, so I just try to pull it back and stick to the facts, but I can tell you right now, I can absolutely separate Nate's bad behavior from his good looks. And by the way, I'm also looking forward to whenever his redemption moment will be, and he says, I'm not that person anymore. This is his first trip over to the dark side. I'm going to let him go. I'm going to watch him. Hate seeing him go. Love seeing him go. Love watching him go. And I'll be happy to welcome him back when he's not that person anymore. Diana says, I think we will finally be headed for a Victoria and Nate romance now that Nate has teamed up with the Newmans. I've always liked the idea of these two characters being romantically involved, but I would like to see Nate and Elena last a while longer. It seems their relationship has finally grown stronger, and now it's looking like Elena is gonna break up with Nate. This is understandable, as Elena doesn't want to be with someone who has no integrity for their family's company. When Nate and Elena do break up, you better believe Imani will be right there to pick up the pieces and be by Nate's side. I do look forward to this day, as the buildup of Nate and Imani's relationship has been highly anticipated. Yeah, Victoria and Nate did have a little flirty thing when a different actor was playing the role. So I think that's still a possibility, still in the cards. And yes, Nate and Elena are so totally done, and Imani's going to be right there to pick up the pieces. Or I also kind of wonder what's going on with this new corporate gal that Nate ran into at the tail end of Friday's show. Is it possible that Y&R has brought in a new sexy female for Nate? Maybe hedging their bets in case, like, the actress who plays Imani doesn't come back, or if they decide to go in a different direction with Imani. I'm not exactly sure, but Sue W. says, Audra Charles. Wow, heads are gonna turn in Genoa City. Yes, the woman who plays Audra Charles, the new woman, is a drop-dead gorgeous model. She looked beautiful there next to Nate as well. I mean, she was coming correct. She has sex written all over her. It's just a matter of who she's going to get with. You never know. She could be a pair for Devon. Those are the two guys, Billy, the guys over at Chancellor Winters. I guess we'll find out. Naomi says Nate is burning bridges as he makes a deal with Victoria. Devon says he wants to keep the company private because they have autonomy. Lily doesn't address his comments and wants him to look at the impressive numbers. Nate is frustrated with Devon, so he's decided to destroy any trust left and align with Victoria. He's betraying Devon and Lily. Devon will blame Lily probably just as much as Nate. Nate is taking Lily down along with Devon, even though she and Nate have no issues. What would his mother have to say? To blow up the family yet again is sad, but compelling. Yeah, that's the thing. It is sad. I mean, you're 100% right on all fronts, but it is compelling, and that's really what I'm in it for. Daisy says, what was the point of Jill merging Chancellor and bringing the family in if the goal was to sell it? Also, her son, grandson, and great-grandson would inherit it. They are related to Philip Chancellor II, the founder. You'd think she'd want to keep it for them. Yeah, that's a good question about Jill's motives here, too. It's like, okay, well, we're just going to go ahead and take this company public so we can get more money. Forget about the control. Forget about the family business. We're going for broke. It's kind of hard to believe that, well, Chancellor would have had to have been a publicly traded company, but this is a new entity, Chancellor Winters, and they weren't public. So, it doesn't make any sense. I mean, it is very sad because I liked Devon's compelling speech about why he wanted to keep it a family company. It's something that he built with Neil on one end, and the other end of it was his grandmother's company, and we can all see the writing on the wall that it's about to be destroyed. Sharita says, if I were Devon, especially after seeing how the merger didn't really work out for him, I would buy majority of the stock under a pseudonym and then run the business with the autonomy that he's used to. Oh, there is a possibility that Nate and Victoria are not going to succeed. What if Devon does something like thinks of the same idea and just does an end run and then he owns the whole company. That's actually pretty brilliant. Why would they even give Nate the shares? I mean, I don't know. They're just opening themselves up. If any of the family members were to sell the shares, then yeah, you lose the company. Well, let's flip over to a sexier topic. Last week I asked you guys, Nick and Sally, are they hot or are they cold? Are you ready for these dramatic and exciting poll results? Nick and Sally are cold, says the majority of Y&R chatters. 56 to 44 saying they're hot. That's actually, honestly, a lot closer than I thought it was going to be. I really thought that the majority vote was going to be like way swung toward the cold end, because it seems like most of the comments that I've seen about Nick and Sally are people who don't like it, aren't feeling the pairing. So I thought, well, hey, maybe sometime. That's why I kind of love these polls, because it's like it gives you a snapshot. I mean, maybe there aren't enough people who will take the time to say, yeah, I think they're hot, versus, building the argument as, to why they'd be better with someone else. And so that's why I like these polls, because it just gives you a quick little snapshot of what people are really thinking and feeling. And so we've heard a lot of reasons why Nick and Sally should not be together over the past couple of weeks. So let's hear some comments about people who think that they're hot and they should be together. Sharita says, I love a Nick that's getting sex. That's a pretty succinct way of putting it, Sharita. He's a happier Nick when he's getting sex. While this is not love like Sally has with Adam, it's lust, sexy and naughty, because it will be a lot of sneaking around, and that's hot to me. Plus, I can't wait to see Phyllis and Summer's heads explode once the truth comes out and Sally's carrying Summer's younger sibling. Oh gosh, that's terribly good. Michelle says, in theory, I thought Nick and Sally would be unremarkable and a lame attempt to mix up the couples, but after watching the episodes, I voted hot. Must be the art direction, the stage blocking, and especially the acting. Henry says, I voted Nick and Sally are hot. Red hot. And Marianne V voted that Nick and Sally are hot, but I still prefer Sally with Adam. They are hotter and perfect for each other. Yeah, I think that's probably pretty good. Hot, but still prefer Sally and Adam together, although that just might not be in the cards. Ellen says, okay, Adam, Sally says it's over. She has made a decision, and you need to stop showing up on her doorstep. There is no forgiveness to be had. She suggests you go back to Chelsea. No. Or Sharon. Yes. Her loss. Move on. You tried. Sally is being very clear. It's not okay to keep trying to convince her to change her mind. She can come to you if she ever wants to get back together. Yeah, I agree with that completely. I think she's said it. She said it more than once. She said it pretty clearly. The interesting thing, though, is while I was watching that scene and I was thinking, Adam, she said, no, you gotta accept it. I was also thinking at the same time how Sally totally did not accept it when Adam did the same thing with her. I mean, she badgered him to no end. He said, it's over. There's nothing more between us. There's nothing else that need to be said. And she still showed up in his hotel room without him letting her in there. So, I mean, both of them do not know how to take no for an answer. Oh, here's another topic on another topic from Ellen, who says, Chelsea is right. Help! Did I just type that sentence? Yes, I've always felt that the Newman lies about Johnny and Christian are wrong. In Johnny's case, Chelsea agreed to the arrangement, but now he's old enough to know the full truth. But in Christian's case, Nick denied Adam the right to have any visitation with his biological son, and for Connor to know his half-brother, selfish. Time and time again, Adam is the one who keeps the peace, but he's labeled the bad seed. We will see how a teenage Christian feels about being lied to by his entire family. It didn't need to be such a huge problem. An agreement could have been worked out a long time ago. Adam only wanted visitation, if I'm remembering correctly. No, I think Adam wanted custody. I think he did sue for custody. But it would have been interesting if Nick's reaction had been anywhere closer to what Victoria's reaction was, where it's, probably first feels like a no, but then she went back and she thought about it and she realized that the truth is what's best for the kid. And that's definitely not what Nick did. And I do kind of wonder, are we going to see a storyline where Christian's biological father is revealed, maybe happening hand in hand with the storyline of Johnny and his biological mother being revealed? It's possible, especially now that there's more animosity with Nick. I don't know if that's, if that is the timing that is right for where the writers are going for it, but it's possible. Okay, so Kamna says, I don't know if I should chalk it up to bad writing or bad acting on the part of the woman who plays Talia, but something is off with that storyline. I keep wondering if she's actually planning an expose or a book on Nikki. It seems weird that she'd be encouraging Nikki to meet up with Deacon and bring back any info. If she's this amazing reporter, wouldn't she have already spoken to Deacon? Yeah, I completely agree. There's something a little bit off there. Those scenes didn't connect with me a lot. I think it was there to give Nikki the chance to have some exposition. But I agree with you that the whole time Nikki was sitting there kind of spilling her story about her alcoholism to this reporter, I thought, what makes you so sure that she's on your side? Ellen says, Mrs. Martinez! No one has seen you in a decade! Come out, wherever you are! And Gary says, yeah! She was called out and then she didn't even show up. I was counting the beats and just kept waiting, but I figured from the start that she would not appear. Employee insubordination! But then Mamie was prone to having her own mind and doing the same. I mean, weren't we all collectively holding our breaths in the moment that Kyle shouted out for Mrs. Martinez? I mean, that's a beautiful little, nod to the fans there. I bet that was a fun line for Michael Mealor. We all know Mrs. Martinez is just this phantom character who supposedly bakes cookies and makes tea, and she's great. She's fantastic. And the fact that he called her out was such a spoof on the audience, because we all were like, that was a great cliffhanger for the week, or it was at least a great dramatic moment for the week, and it's like, she's not coming, but is she? So that was fun. Ellen also asks, are we excited about watching Kyle and Summer get married all over again? Wasn't the first time with all the drama in Italy more than enough? Is it just to get the photos with the new Summer? I hope this won't get dragged out. Is it just to get wedding photos for the new Summer? That's funny. But it's a good question. Do you guys feel the chemistry between Kyle and new Summer? Or are you fast forwarding the scenes like Ellen is? Sherrod had an interesting fact here saying that this will be Kyle and Summer's third wedding to each other, which is funny because even though they've known each other all their life, they've only been an actual couple for 2 years. This will be the fourth wedding for both. Old hat. Wow. Whoa, 3 weddings? Gosh, I remember the 2. I mean, the 2 is obvious. I'm trying to remember the first wedding. Maybe you can fill in that blank for us this week, Sherrod, but I never would have realized that. This is going to be their 3rd wedding. That's crazy. So are you guys feeling it? That's a really good question for you guys to leave comments on this week. Do you like the new Kyle and Summer? Do you feel the pull of their romance, and are you looking forward to the wedding? T. Nicole says, I laughed when it was suggested that Diane be at Summer and Kyle's party first, as it would be easier to make her leave than Phyllis. Try telling that to Nikki, Phyllis, Ashley, Victor, and I'm sure others. They can't make her leave for the life of them. It's so hard to get Diane to leave that even when they thought she was gone for good, as in dead, she still came back. Yeah, that's funny. My goodness. Kind of hard to get Diane to go away, isn't it? Even when she's dead, she still came back. Naomi says, oh my, I love the exchanges between Phyllis and Diane. Diane makes a little click sound very subtly. She's delivering a great slice at Phyllis. And then Phyllis puts on her best game face, slices back, and makes that sound only a little less subtle. These 2 actresses are fantastic when playing, quote-unquote, nice. I call their comments slices instead of digs because the comments cut like a knife. Bringing Diane back is the best move that this Y&R team has made, and I totally think that Susan Walters makes an incredible counterbalance with Phyllis. I mean, this rivalry is great because Phyllis is so big and so over the top, and Diane is so subtle and so cutting, and just watching the 2 of them go back and forth is truly, truly awesome. Sue W. says, why do I feel the urge to say touche, Diane, bravo? It is giving her too much credit by thinking her resignation was actually a calculated making lemonade from lemons of her outburst. She'll be fine without the job and will remain in Jack and Kyle's good graces. But oh, Phyllis, afloat with a little Jack interaction, pushed back from Summer, and no job, no Grand Phoenix. Oh, gotta love Diane's meek jabot exit. I hope we can all get together for dinner at some point. Yeah, I'm surprised that they all both got their jobs back so quickly, and I was spinning theories as to how, wow, this actually works out just fine for Diane. She's going to get what she wants anyway. She's still going to be in Jack and Kyle's good graces, but what would become of Phyllis? She seemed to, have lost more in a way, especially with no Grand Phoenix. But what I really love is that you hone in on that moment right after everybody got fired. Diane's getting ready to exit the room, and Phyllis goes out in a blaze, but Diane says, I hope we can all get together for dinner at some point. God, she's great. They're both great. Jamie says, quote, there you are, the Diane I know and hate. I feel you, Phyllis. Please, girl, play it cool and let Diane dig her own grave. Figuratively, of course, with Nikki sleuthing and giving her a destructive nudge. Yeah, Diane already dug her own grave once, but yeah, I think that's so funny, and gosh, they're both so good. Victoria says Michelle Stafford is such a great actress. When Phyllis was watching the interactions at Summer and Kyle's party, you could see the disappointment and the sadness on her face. You could tell she was thinking, oh, what have I done this time? I can't believe my family excluded me. Nick was able to pull her from the abyss this time, but who knows if next week, as she tries to find out who Diane is texting, if anyone will be there to pull her back. Yeah, Phyllis has got less and less to lose, which makes Phyllis more and more dangerous. Diane still has something to lose. I mean, Phyllis has Summer, but I think Diane just, I don't know, she seems to be clinging almost a little bit harder to that relationship with Kyle. It seems more fragile, I think, because Diane's betrayal of Kyle is so incredibly deep, letting him think she was dead, whereas I think that Phyllis kind of counts on knowing that she may tick Summer off, but I don't think Phyllis believes that Summer's going to disown her over any of it. Sue W. says, uh-oh, Phyllis is going all Chelsea with the voices in her head being verbalized for the viewers. Michelle Stafford can easily play any and every thought she has without speaking at all, so hearing Phyllis thinking was odd. But perhaps the scene was to emphasize Phyllis as losing it more and more. I don't know. That's always a tough call to make regarding Phyllis when she's in full-on desperation mode. I love Michelle Stafford's ability to balance exaggeration with always relatable emotion. Whether Phyllis herself is being nasty, charming, or anything in between, always a fan. Oh gosh, balancing exaggeration with always relatable emotion. I'm a fan too, and I wasn't always, but I'm a fan too. You got it. Ron says that scene where Phyllis was talking to herself in her head made me think the same thing. Not because she was talking to herself, but it was what she was saying. It was like she's lost her mind, and I'm loving watching it. Yeah, I think we're seeing both. We're seeing, I mean, if it's possible, we're seeing Phyllis coming even more undone at the same time that we're seeing Diane coming more undone. And it's just going to get better and better because Ambrini says, you guys, Daniel, Michael Gracia Day is back. Not sure for how long, but I'm excited for it. I liked Lily and Daniel before Lily married Kane, and then I liked Lane. But maybe Phyllis's son being back will give her something else to focus on instead of her stupid obsession with Diane. I wonder if Danny will show up too. I don't know much about Danny, but during the COVID flashbacks, he had a sexy vibe because of his voice. Oh, yeah! First of all, love Daniel. I mean, I think this is going to be really fun because Daniel has kind of this alternative vibe. He's exactly someone who should be on the show. He gives us a little bit of a different kind of guy. I could totally see him and his rockerness interacting with Tessa and Mariah and Noah and just like getting in with Allie and just like kind of being with, even though he's a little bit older, but I could kind of see him like hanging out with those guys. But also, I mean, you make the great point that he's gonna most importantly be interacting with Phyllis. What will he have to say about her? You know, what will this interaction bring to her? And is there any possibility that we could get Danny back on the show? I think Michael, oh shoot, what's his name? I can't think of the actor who plays Danny's name right now, but he has, I think, said that he's willing to come back, and you're right, I think he's got sexy vibes. I liked him a lot. I'd like to see him. Y&R is promising many comebacks and many people coming back onto the show, and many surprises for the 50th anniversary of the show. Can you even believe it? 50 years. Diana says, I see you have a new book in your Y&R collection, Allie. It looks like there are some older characters on the cover. How you liking that book? And you still have to reorder the Y&R cookbook. I think you'd enjoy it, especially since you enjoy baking. And I'm guessing you enjoy cooking as well. Yes, I know I still got to get my cookbook. But I love that you've noticed this. I do have a new book on my shelf back here. It's The Young and the Restless. It is a novelization of the very first stories that appeared on The Young and the Restless. Let me get it here. So it says, relive the past from its very beginnings in a continuing series of paperbacks. So it's not the likenesses. I think, let's see, this is the Brooks, the Fosters, and the Abbotts. And I'm not sure, I guess, I don't know if this is who exactly this is supposed to be, but I haven't read it yet. I'm still getting there. I received this as a gift, and I actually received the series of books as a gift, and I am looking forward to reading it soon if I can. But it's just so interesting because this is an older book. I'm not exactly sure. This has got to be from the 70s. But what they did was take the original stories of Y&R, the opening stories, and then just novelized it and put it down. And I think it's all the same characters. I think it's all the same beats. It's the exact same story, just novelized. Unveiled Desires is the first book in the series, and I have 15 of them. This is really, really cool, and I was very happy to receive it. Very generous gift. I know I gotta get that Y&R cookbook too. They really broke my heart with that damaged version. I'm hoping, my original thought was I would love to do a standalone podcast or video about this book series, because just even sleuthing around to try to find more out about the series is really interesting. So I've got some research to do there too. Well, let's end on this birthday follow-up from Southside Granny, who says, thank you for the happy birthday, Allie. I have plans to fly to Genoa City on the Newman jet. I'm going to spend some time with both Nikki and Victor riding, and then enjoy a great cup of coffee from, Crimson Light's special blend. Then I'll head to Society, check into their best, and wait for the door to open, and enjoy that massage. That best massage that Diane never got. Later I'll go to the top dining floor to have a wonderful time with some great people, but what would a birthday be without stopping for some sun at the park? After all, I didn't get to see Nick at the ranch or Society. Happy birthday to me. Oh, I love that fantasy. That's fun. I asked where you would go on your birthday, and you gave me a whole birthday journey, Southside Granny, a whole birthday trip. That would really, truly be the best birthday ever. Best fantasy birthday ever. And in all seriousness, my greatest wish would be to get to visit these sets. I don't need to even exist in the fantasy. I don't need to see a single actor or actress ever. I just want to step on the set and look around. I won't touch anything. I won't even take a photo. I just want to see the sets and stand on them. But also it would need to be an all expenses paid trip. I'm going to need a train ticket, a hotel, and a car service to and from the set. But that's all I'd need. Okay, everybody. That's me and my fantasy for the week. Where would you go? What do you think is the best hangout in Genoa City? Go to yrchat.com and vote in our poll for this week. Let me know what you're thinking about the show. I mean, it seems like it's heating up. You know, fall always gets into that sweep season, and we get new stuff. And again, like I said, we're going into the 50th anniversary of Y&R. That is a big, big deal, and it seems like they have a lot of stuff planned, not just for like a week celebration. I think they've got a lot of stuff planned in general. They must have got hopefully a little bit of extra budget to bring in some extra actors and actresses, giving us new sets and lots of freshness, new stories. I'm loving it. I think Y&R is in a great, great place right now, and I can't wait to hear what you guys have to say about it. So again, yrchat.com is the website. Let me know what you're thinking about the show, and then come back next Sunday and we will talk about it all over again. I love you guys. I hope everybody has a really wonderful week, and I will see you next Sunday. Bye.